This is the Jaguar iPace, the EV400 all-wheel drive. Range, they say about 450 kilometers. I'd say it's probably usable 350 to 450, somewhere in that range, depending if you spend most of your time on motorways or not. I'm going to review this car front to back, but we're actually going to start on the inside of it first. So if you like that sort of thing, hit the subscribe button, because you know it's probably good for your health to subscribe to people as well. A lot of bugs out here. Anyway, even they're not disturbed by the Jaguar. Let's see what it's like on the inside. It really is good for your health to subscribe. Anyhow, so you make sure you're subscribed, right? Big, heavy thud from the very heavy door. Interior of this cabin is very Jag. I do like it. Jaguar's written everywhere. Immediately you're greeted with a screen up here that tells you your range and the percentage of charge. It's 321 kilometers from an 89% charge. Now I did fast charge this a few minutes ago, so it's flicking up and down a lot. The materials used across the dash are very, very good. Very top notch. There is a lot of lines, cuts and lines and things and stuff, which are okay. I don't really disturb you, but they do feel like a luxury car. This absolutely murders what Tesla was doing with their cars in that luxury kind of car feel. This just murders that entirely. Gone, no need for the big iPad-y thing in the middle that's in the Tesla. We see how Tesla's doing for that later on in the year. Seating position is very sporty Jag, so you feel like you're quite low down, hunkered down inside the car. Under the floor, of course, is covered with batteries. Because Jag put the batteries under the floor and an engine on either axle, there is 400 PS and 696 Newton meters of torque through an all-wheel drive. But more on that later. Two screens. This is a full digital screen here in front of me, so it actually has sat-nav on one side, and the other side is the car condition. So when doors are open or roof is open, and it's all up on the left side. The right side is all sat-nav. In the middle is all about charge, power, speed, range, and so on. Then the center one here deals with all of your menus of all kinds across this one, so you can go in and out of all kinds of menus here. Your phones and media, and then your vehicle condition, My EV, your live contacts, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Sorry everybody who keeps correcting me when I say Google Android. Then there's another screen down the center here, which is your climate control. You've got actual physical wheels to control the temperature on both sides. It does dull the air conditioning on the passenger side when no one is sitting here. So it doesn't detect anyone else in the car, it just does the air conditioning around the driver. This center screen here can actually do other things. When you sweep down, it has a phone system built in as well, so you can actually see your previous calls, and you see more details about the car as well, and your media actually comes up in this bottom screen as well as the top screen. There now it's after popping in. Navigation screens and all is ultra clear, very reflective glass, I do find. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to see when the sun hits it at certain angles. These two are interestingly also screens. So when you press them, you're presented with a different screen, which is the heated seat, which allows you to turn on and off the heated seat. So that's actually a screen inside a screen, which is very meta here at the moment. Then down here, D, N, more, and P, and that's the gears all down this side. And down this side is a different kind of mode you can go into. So your traction control off, your hill descent is up here, and then you can go into eco, and you can go into, what's the other modes you have here? Dynamic, and then you have comfort, eco, and then rain, ice, snow. I have a glove box over here which can contain many good stuff. Then I have two cup holders behind that, a sort of a pen holder thing in here. Then a nice decent sized glove box on this side. There are two USB ports in this glove box. There's a 12-volt socket, and there's a micro SIM card in addition. There's also two USB ports either side here under this little shelf part, and there's USB ports in the back. So thumbs up in all of that, 100%. This has the Meridian stereo in it as well, which has the best, richest sound I have ever heard in any of these cars. Any of them. It's just rich. Instead of it getting instantaneously louder, it enriches the sound. It just sounds richer and beautiful and very, very nice. Also, I have memory seats, front and passenger side. And then in the back, we'll come to the back in a minute, there's more gadgets back there. Sunglasses holders above my head, SOS buttons, usual sort of stuff, decent mic, mirrorless, frameless mirror thing, and then you have this full glass sunroof going across top of it as well. It is outstandingly good cabin. Very happy with this. I would be happy paying the money for this and all the gadgets I've seen so far that work. Even these, a steering wheel here has little screens on them that does other stuff as well. It's such a good, clever cabin. Don't know about longevity wise, maybe in 10 years time all this will be broke, I don't know, but right now I'll be very happy looking at this every day. Now, will the family be any happier in the back? So let's have a look at the back seats. Oh yeah, I have to turn the car off. It's so quiet I forget it's turned on. Sorry. Good job, it's a little ding dong said you turn it on and off, isn't it? Anyway, here we go. Right, so the back seat has tons of room. Big clunk. Oh yeah, that's a good clunk. Tons of room between me and the front seat. As you see, my front seat was actually set up in a quite ample way for me as well. I left it back a little bit further. Good fist and a half between me and my knees back here, so I can stretch out a good bit. There is, I would say, 2 seats back here, not 3. I have a centre armrest with 2 cup holders in it, and that looks like it's supposed to open, isn't it? What is it? There it is, a little document holder. You might get a phone in there. Nice and easy armresting. No ski load through. There's a net on the back of that seat. I have a 5-volt socket here, 5-volt socket and a 12-volt socket, all USB sockets and a 12-volt thing. I don't know what that's for. Design feature. I said it's supposed to be air conditioning back here as an optional extra. Glass roof extends right back here, so the light is on the back here. You have reading lights on both sides. Then you have actually got 3 seat belts and 2 ISOFIX sets, so you can ISOFIX seats back here as well. And then you can press a button and drop the seat for access to the boot. Really easy. Well done, Jack. This is very good. Normally the luxury guys forget something. They've forgotten nothing back here. I've got hangers, I've got air socket things, you know, vents letting air in. Actually, here's another little feature as well this door has. So this door has a little yellow light thing that comes on if you're about to open the door in traffic, and it detects a car coming from behind. A little yellow light comes on here. It says there's something behind you. So you press that, it tells you it's all clear when it's open. Very, very clever, Jag. I love those little touches to keep you going. Anyway, we have to check out the boot. The boot must be checked out. Okay, so the boot has an opener way under here. It's very easy to get that muddy, by the way, but you can actually open it from the keys as well. The boot is a big boot. It's a decent sized boot. I'm surprised by that because the car is very roomy inside. So the boot is actually a decent sized boot as well. 12-volt socket in the boot, shopping bag hook on both sides, on either side of the car, and you've also got these little, you can let go, the tonneau cover can come out, or this kind of card. That's here's very thin card. It's on that. That's okay though. And underneath this, I have my granny cable, which looks like that. So we call these granny cables, and you got a 3-pin socket on one end, and you got the car charger on the other end. So you can plug it into anything, any 3-pin socket anywhere, and drive their electricity bills through the roof. That is contained under here. There is no spare wheel in this. Do you know what? I don't actually think you would fit a spare wheel from this thing into any vehicle because the wheels are plenty big. It's the trouble with granny cables. They're very hard to get back in because they're so big. There we go. Right. I think that's in. Anyway, plenty of room. Boot is ginormous. Next, let's go for a drive. So this car is like squirt and go, you know. Squirt, and you're off. It's a lovely, lovely experience. It is an all-wheel drive, of course, and it does drive in that way. It feels like it's gripping everywhere you go, which makes it very pointy in the corner. Just point into the corner, and it'll take that corner. Wherever you point the nose, the car follows. No drama, no effort, no nothing. The interior manages to be something that no other car has got, which is what I would call classy. Classy is a strange word. It's not the same as luxurious. So luxurious is where you look at a deep pile of carpet, you run your hand through and you go, wow, that's luxurious. And then your friend walks in and goes, I have that in my shed. That's how classy that one is, or how luxurious that one is. You know, so luxurious and luxury in general is what you're used to, what you experience. Some things can feel luxurious to you, but actually to others are not. Classy is very different. Classy is something that you can be and not have any luxury at all. You can be very classy and broke and be dressed from pennies and still be really classy. So there's a big difference to that. That's where this wins. It's an incredibly classy interior. And it's that classiness that I actually really admire in a Jaguar car. I have to say, every time I get into one, I wonder why they don't just do classy cars and leave it at that. Why they ever attempt to try and compete with someone like BMW or Audi or even Mercedes. They're a class above that. They're kind of a luxurious car. They're kind of more of a Bentley or a Roller or something. They do it very well. Now, of course, this class doesn't come cheap. This car that I'm driving is about 94 grand. So it's not cheap to begin with. Now, you do get the SCAI grants, but let me tell you straight off, do not rely on the future of those grants. I don't think those grants are going to be around for much longer, because I don't think the government are quite so happy about spending 10 grand or so every time someone buys a car. So I can't imagine those grants are going to last forever. So the cars you're buying now, you're buying them much cheaper than they will be in the future. The class of this car, the quiet, just something I can't quite put my finger on. Something uniquely Jaguar about it. It's like the first class premier lounge of summer. It's just got this something. And that's nearly impossible to get. For any other car manufacturer, they seem to miss that point of just almost perfect. That's exactly what I want from a Jag. Now, the drawbacks. Is there any? Well, I was told by other motoring journalists that there was a problem with charging this car. Some motoring journalists seemed to get it very early. Were telling me that it was having a problem with charging. And I've charged it in 2 fast charge points and I've had no problem. So either they're doing it wrong or Jaguar's fixed the problem. One or the other. Could have been a software glitch. I'm happy to report the whole car seems to go well. One little point that I would make is that some of the software seems a little bit laggy, like they haven't put enough memory in, or they haven't put a big enough hard drive in, or they haven't put enough, I don't know what you would call it. There's something that looks kind of laggy on some of the software, but that seems to be a Jaguar, Land Rover, Range Rover problem, because I've seen it before in other ones of their cars, namely the Range Rover Vogue. The iPace does it for me. I'm happy to say that I would buy this if I was thinking about electric cars. I would buy this before I'd buy a Tesla as well, because this actually feels a substantial more amount of car than a Tesla ever is. It seems so well put together. You can tell a mature car maker has made this car versus a young car maker enthusiastically saying ludicrous mode or whatever it is that they do from Spaceballs these days. This is much more mature, much more grown up, and much more classy. I would give this an 8 or even maybe a 9 out of 10 if I scored such things, but I don't really do scoreboards. But I would be very close to a 10 out of 10 on this one, I have to say. Very good, very, very good Jaguar. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review and I've earned your subscription. You know, you should subscribe, it's really good for your health. But, you know, if you've come this far, you might as well subscribe now, because there's more and more and more of these videos coming out the whole time, and you might actually enjoy it. And maybe we'll try some TV land stuff eventually, but right now, I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully you will join us on a Sunday for the Sunday service, where we go live for 2 whole hours with all of my buddies from all over the car world coming to help out every Sunday. And it's been great crack over the winter. Now, of course, we're going to shut it down a little bit over the summer, because obviously people will be doing their summer things and won't be interested in listening to me drone on for 2 hours about cars. But we're going to start a little course like that, and then Paul McGann videos coming out, and there's more stuff coming out from the channel. So, you know, subscribe. The growth has been huge this year, so hopefully you will subscribe and grow with us and admire our little community. Anyway, that's all there is to say about the Jaguar I-Pace. It is on sale right now. Go test drive one if you possibly can, because you'll love it. I do. I absolutely adore the thing. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next time, I will see you on the far side.